Love, a precious gift, yet also a journey full of challenges. Have you ever felt lost in your relationships? Or wondered how to build a lasting and happy love? Why do many men love deeply but still hesitate before marriage? This is a question that puzzles many people, especially when the relationship has lasted long and is deeply connected. In reality, no matter how great the love is, stepping into marriage always comes with invisible pressures that make men think carefully. They are not only concerned about personal freedom and finances but also fear losing control of their lives or taking on family responsibilities. So, what makes men hesitant to commit? Let's explore the deep thoughts behind this hesitation. Welcome to Sophia's Knowledge, and I am Sophia. This is where we share lessons about love, real-life experiences, and secrets to building strong relationships. In today's video, Sophia will reveal 8 common thoughts that make men hesitate before getting married. These are things you may have never considered before. If you are looking for deeper insights into love and how to develop a relationship, don't miss this video. Before we start, find a quiet space and put on your headphones so you can fully absorb every word I share. Relax and enjoy this journey with me. Are you ready to embark on this journey? Let's go! Number 1. Concern about personal freedom. The biggest psychological barrier before marriage. When talking about marriage, many people envision a lifelong commitment where two people love and share every moment together. However, for many men, deciding to enter marriage is not easy, and one of the biggest psychological barriers is the fear of losing personal freedom. Does marriage really restrict freedom? Personal freedom is an important aspect of everyone's life. It's not just about making decisions for oneself, but also about having private space, time for oneself, and the ability to pursue personal passions without being influenced by others' opinions or responsibilities. When a man is single, he can arrange his time as he wishes, from hanging out with friends, taking spontaneous trips, to spending hours on his hobbies without having to explain to anyone. But after marriage, that freedom can change significantly. Common fears about losing freedom. Lifestyle changes. For many men, marriage is not just a commitment to love but also a major shift in lifestyle. No more relaxed solo movie nights, no more staying up late or sleeping in freely, and no more making decisions without considering their partner. This can make them feel restricted, losing the habits they have been accustomed to for years. Less time for themselves. Before marriage, a man can spend an entire weekend playing sports, hanging out with friends, or immersing himself in personal passions like music, art, or technology. But once married, that time is shared with his wife, children, and family responsibilities. They fear they will no longer have enough space to pursue what they love. Fear of being controlled by their wife. A common concern is the need to report and explain their actions. When single, they can go wherever they want and do whatever they like. But after marriage, they may have to be more considerate due to family responsibilities. Some even fear being excessively controlled and losing autonomy over their lives. Losing control over major life decisions. When single, a man can change jobs, move houses, or invest in a project without consulting anyone. But after marriage, every major decision requires mutual agreement. This can make many men feel restricted, especially if they are used to being in control of their own lives. Freedom in marriage, a perspective that needs to change. Although the fear of losing personal freedom is understandable, in reality, marriage does not necessarily mean restriction or loss. On the contrary, a good marital relationship can help both partners grow and support each other without completely sacrificing individual freedom. Communication and aligning expectations from the beginning. If both partners can openly discuss their personal desires and set reasonable boundaries, maintaining freedom in marriage is entirely possible. Respect and understanding are the keys to ensuring that neither person feels like they are losing themselves in married life. Freedom does not mean isolation. Some men have an extreme mindset that marriage means giving up friendships or personal interests entirely. But in reality, an understanding partner will always allow both individuals to pursue their separate lives in a balanced way. Learning to share instead of focusing only on oneself. When a man sees marriage not as a loss but as an addition, he will realize that having a life partner allows him to enjoy life more fully. Freedom is not lost, it is simply adjusted to fit a new stage of life. Conclusion. The fear of losing personal freedom is one of the biggest barriers preventing men from taking the step toward marriage. However, with mutual understanding and reasonable adjustments, marriage does not have to be the end of freedom, it can be an expansion of it in a more mature way. The key is to find a life partner who respects each other's personal space so both can build a shared life without either having to sacrifice their individuality. What do you think of this lesson? Have you applied something similar in your life? Please share your thoughts or stories in the comments. I will read and respond quickly. Thank you for your attention. Let's continue together. Number 2. Financial pressure. A silent barrier that makes men hesitate before marriage. When it comes to marriage, many people often think of happy moments, deep connections, and a future filled with hope. However, for many men, behind the decision to move towards marriage lies a persistent concern: financial pressure. This is not just about money, it is also about responsibility, expectations, and the ability to ensure a stable future for their family. Why does finance become such a big concern? For many men, getting married means stepping into an entirely new phase, one where responsibility is no longer limited to themselves. When single, they only need to take care of their personal needs, but once they start a family, expenses increase significantly, from wedding costs, buying a house, raising children, to taking care of both sides of the family. This creates a heavy financial burden, making many men think long and hard before deciding to get married. A survey has shown that financial concerns are one of the top reasons why men delay marriage. It's not that they don't want to commit, but because they feel they are not financially stable enough to provide their partner with a secure and happy life. Specific financial pressures men face. Wedding expenses. For many, a wedding is not just an event marking a major life milestone but also an opportunity to demonstrate responsibility and maturity. However, wedding costs can be quite high, especially in major cities. From venue rentals, wedding photography, outfits, catering, to gifts for guests, everything adds up to a significant expense. Many men feel pressured to meet family and societal expectations for a grand wedding. If their financial situation is not solid, they often choose to delay marriage until they are better prepared. Buying a house, a car, a heavy burden. One of the biggest concerns after marriage is housing. For many, having their own home is an important criterion for family stability. However, with rising real estate prices, owning a house has become a major challenge. Many men worry about taking on long-term loans, monthly mortgage payments, or relying on family support. If they don't yet have the financial means to buy a home, they feel unready for marriage, fearing they won't be able to provide a sense of security for their partner. Raising children, a long-term financial challenge. Having and raising children is a long journey with numerous expenses. From pregnancy, childbirth, education, to healthcare, all these costs accumulate over many years. Many men understand that raising a child requires not just love but also solid financial resources. They fear that without enough financial stability, their child may not receive the best opportunities for development. This is a key reason why many hesitate when thinking about starting a family. Expectations from society and family. Society often places the financial responsibility of the household on men. This creates an invisible pressure, making them feel they need to have a stable job and a good income before considering marriage. Sometimes, the pressure doesn't just come from within but also from both families. Many parents want their sons to be financially capable of ensuring a harmonious marriage, free from financial struggles. These expectations unintentionally make men feel they are not yet qualified for marriage. Overcoming financial pressure, is it easy? Although financial pressure is an undeniable reality, it does not mean that marriage is only for those with abundant financial resources. In reality, mutual support and sharing between partners are the key factors in sustaining a marriage. Being honest about finances before marriage. One of the best ways to reduce financial pressure is to discuss and plan together. Sharing current financial situations, expected expenses, and future goals helps both partners understand and shoulder responsibilities together. Building a healthy financial mindset. Not everyone can own a house or have large savings before marriage. The important thing is a strong financial mindset, knowing how to manage expenses wisely, plan savings, and make smart investments to gradually achieve shared goals. Seeking support when needed. If financial pressure is too overwhelming, seeking support from family or exploring low-interest loan programs can be a solution. The key is not letting this pressure become a barrier that drives the relationship into stagnation. Final thoughts. Financial pressure is one of the biggest concerns that make men hesitate before marriage. However, instead of letting this fear dictate their decisions, facing reality, openly communicating, and building a financial plan together will help both partners overcome challenges. Marriage is not just about love, it is also about companionship on a long journey ahead. When there is mutual understanding and unity, financial pressure will merely be a challenge that both can conquer and grow from together. If you are still watching the video, do not hesitate to comment continue. Leave your thoughts and questions below in the comment section. I look forward to hearing your opinions, and do not forget to like and subscribe to the channel so that Sophia has more motivation to create more good and meaningful videos. Let's continue together. Number 3. Uncertainty about feelings. A silent concern that makes men hesitate before marriage. On the journey to marriage, love is the fundamental foundation that helps two people stay connected and overcome life's challenges together. However, not everyone can easily determine whether their feelings are deep and strong enough to commit to a lifelong relationship. For many men, uncertainty about their feelings is one of the biggest reasons they hesitate before deciding to get married. Why do men often doubt their feelings? Love is not always clear and easy to recognize. Many men, even in a serious relationship, still ask themselves, do I truly love her? Is she the one I want to spend my life with? Are these feelings strong enough to last forever? This hesitation often stems from deeper reasons: fear of commitment, societal pressure, or simply not feeling a love that is strong enough. To understand better, let's explore the main reasons why men feel uncertain about their emotions. Reasons why men hesitate about their feelings. Fear of losing freedom and personal space. Some men worry that marriage will take away their personal freedom. When they are not completely certain about their feelings, they become even more reluctant to enter a committed relationship where every major and minor decision requires mutual agreement. Worry about changing emotions. Love in its early stages is often intense and passionate. However, over time, those emotions may fade. Many men wonder if they will still love their partner as much as they did in the beginning and fear that boredom will arise when living together. Comparisons with other relationships. Sometimes, uncertainty arises from comparing their current partner to past relationships or an idealized image. If a man feels that his partner does not fully match his hidden expectations, he may hesitate when thinking about long-term commitment. Fear of choosing the wrong person. Marriage is a major decision that impacts a lifetime. Because of this, many men worry that if they choose the wrong person, they will have to face conflicts, disagreements, or even a failed marriage. This fear makes them constantly question and delay the decision to get married until they feel completely sure. Pressure from family and society. In many cases, men face pressure from family or society urging them to settle down. However, if they are not confident in their feelings, these pressures only make them more confused and hesitant. Signs of uncertainty in love. A man's hesitation is not always easy to detect through words, but it can be revealed through actions and attitudes in the relationship. Here are some signs that indicate he is not entirely certain about his feelings. Avoiding discussions about the future. He tends to evade conversations about marriage plans or building a family. Unwillingness to make the relationship public. If a man is unsure about his feelings, he may hesitate to introduce his partner to family, friends, or colleagues. Lack of deep communication. Conversations become superficial, lacking genuine interest and little sharing of personal thoughts and emotions. Hesitation when facing challenges. When difficulties arise in the relationship, he avoids resolving issues or chooses silence instead of confronting and finding solutions. How to overcome doubts about feelings. If a man truly wants to understand his emotions and make the right decision about marriage, he needs time to reflect and face his true feelings. Here are some steps that can help him overcome uncertainty. Ask yourself important questions. Ask yourself crucial questions such as, am I happy when I'm with her? Does she make me feel safe and trusted? Am I willing to go through life's challenges with her? These questions will help assess true emotions. Openly share with your partner. Open communication is the key to resolving doubts. Sharing feelings, thoughts, and concerns with your partner will help both of you understand each other better, making it easier to address uncertainties in the relationship. Spend more time together. Spending quality time together will help both partners understand each other's personalities, values, and compatibility. Through shared experiences, it will become clearer whether this person is truly the right life partner. Listen to your true emotions. Instead of being influenced by external pressures, focus on your inner emotions. If thinking about her brings warmth and security, it could be a sign that love is strong enough to move toward marriage. Final thoughts. Uncertainty about feelings is a major psychological barrier that makes many men hesitate before deciding to get married. However, by facing their true emotions and openly communicating with their partner, they can gradually find the answers they seek. Marriage is not just the result of love but also a lifelong commitment and responsibility. When feelings are strong enough and both partners are ready to move forward together, all doubts will turn into motivation to build a happy and lasting life. Number 4. Fear of losing attraction in the relationship. A hidden concern that makes men hesitate before marriage. When entering a serious relationship, love is initially filled with passion and intense emotions. However, over time, these strong feelings may fade, giving way to familiarity and responsibility. For many men, the fear of losing attraction in the relationship is one of the main reasons they hesitate when thinking about marriage. Attraction here is not just about physical appearance but also includes emotional connection, novelty in experiences, and mutual desire. They worry that after marriage, the relationship will become boring, lack romance, and eventually lead to emotional distance. Why do men fear losing attraction in marriage? Familiarity kills passion. One of the most common reasons men fear losing attraction is the mindset of the more familiar, the more boring. In the early stages of a relationship, everything is new and exciting. But when living together, daily routines can make emotions monotonous, diminishing the initial allure. Pressure from family responsibilities. Marriage is not just about love, it also comes with numerous responsibilities, financial concerns, raising children, and building a family life. These pressures can leave both partners with little time and energy for each other, reducing romance and attraction in the relationship. Fear of losing personal freedom. Many men believe that marriage means giving up personal pleasures, social gatherings, or spontaneous trips. They worry that these constraints will reduce the excitement in the relationship, turning it into a burden rather than a source of joy. Comparison with idealized images. Media, movies, and social networks often create ideal images of love, always romantic, passionate, and perfect. This makes many men fear that their relationship will not be able to maintain long-term attraction like what they see in these portrayals. Signs of fear of losing attraction in a relationship. This fear is not always explicitly expressed but can be noticed through the following signs: delaying marriage plans. They avoid discussing or taking the initiative in planning for marriage, even when the relationship has lasted long enough. Seeking novelty elsewhere. Some may look for new experiences outside the relationship when they feel the current attraction is fading. Lack of interest in interactions. They become indifferent, share fewer emotions, and no longer make efforts to maintain romance as before. Fear of restrictions. They believe that marriage will limit their freedom, making the relationship feel pressuring and less exciting. How to maintain attraction in a long-term relationship. Although the fear of losing attraction is understandable, a relationship can retain its spark if both partners make an effort and understand each other. Here are some ways to sustain and refresh love after marriage. Keep romance and surprises alive. Small romantic gestures can reignite emotions. A surprise dinner, a handwritten letter, or even a sincere compliment can make a partner feel loved and appreciated. Respect each other's personal space. Even as a married couple, each person still needs time and space for personal interests. Respecting this independence not only helps reduce stress but also creates interesting stories to share when together. Explore new experiences together. Trying new activities together, such as traveling, learning a new skill, or taking on a shared challenge, can refresh emotions and create memorable moments. Communicate honestly and openly. Communication is the key to maintaining connection. Regularly sharing emotions, desires, and concerns helps both partners understand each other better and resolve issues more easily. Take care of yourself and the relationship. Not only women but men should also pay attention to self-care in terms of both appearance and mental well-being. When each person feels confident and comfortable with themselves, attraction is naturally maintained. Overcoming fear, turning marriage into an exciting journey. The fear of losing attraction in a relationship is a common psychological barrier, but it is not impossible to overcome. The key is for both partners to be aware of their roles in nurturing love and building a strong relationship together. Marriage is not the end of romance but the beginning of a meaningful lifelong journey. When both partners strive to keep things fresh, show care, and appreciate each other, attraction will not fade but instead grow deeper over time. Number 5. Not yet achieving personal goals. An invisible barrier that makes men hesitate before marriage. In modern life, many men set clear personal goals for themselves before considering marriage. These goals may include a stable career, financial security, or unfulfilled dreams and aspirations. Therefore, when they feel they haven't reached important milestones, they often hesitate to make the decision to marry. This hesitation does not necessarily stem from a lack of love for their partner but rather from the fear of not being ready to take on the responsibilities of a husband and father. So why does not achieving personal goals become a reason for many men to hesitate before marriage? Why do men want to achieve their goals before getting married? Pressure to be the family's breadwinner. Traditional beliefs still hold that man should be the financial pillar of the family. This makes many feel they need to achieve a stable career and financial capability before marriage. If they have not yet accomplished this, they may feel insecure, fearing they won't be able to provide their partner with a comfortable life. Desire for freedom to pursue passions. Before settling down, many men want to experience new things and pursue their passions, such as traveling, career development, or starting a business. They worry that marriage will limit their time and opportunities to fulfill these dreams or force them to sacrifice their unfinished ambitions. Fear of losing personal identity. Some men believe that getting married means losing themselves. They fear having to change their lifestyle, give up personal hobbies, or compromise their values to fit into family life. This makes them want to achieve their personal goals before stepping into marriage. Waiting for the perfect moment. Many people believe that marriage should only happen when everything is ready: a stable job, financial security, and a strong mental state. When they haven't achieved these things, they tend to postpone marriage, waiting for the ideal moment. Signs of anxiety about not achieving personal goals. This concern can be easily recognized through a man's behavior and attitude in a relationship: avoiding discussions about marriage. They dodge or steer away from conversations about marriage, often using reasons like "it's not the right time yet" or "I still have things to accomplish." Focusing intensely on their career, they dedicate most of their time and energy to work, hoping to quickly achieve personal goals before thinking about settling down. Hesitance toward long-term commitments. They may be comfortable in the relationship but reluctant to make long-term plans such as buying a house, having children, or building a future together. Feeling pressured by expectations. When family or their partner pressures them to marry, they may feel stressed, confused, and even become distant. How to balance personal goals and marriage? Wanting to achieve personal goals is completely valid, but if not balanced properly, this concern can become a barrier to happiness. To overcome this hesitation, men can consider the following approaches. Openly communicate with your partner. Honest communication is key. Clearly sharing your dreams, concerns, and personal plans will help your partner understand and support you. When both partners align their visions, all goals can be accomplished together. Reevaluate priorities. Ask yourself, which goal is the most important to me, and does marriage truly hinder or actually motivate me to achieve my dreams? Sometimes, marriage is not a barrier but a launchpad that strengthens your journey towards success. Create a long-term plan. You don't have to complete all your goals before marriage, but having a clear plan will boost your confidence. Work with your future spouse to develop a plan that integrates personal ambitions with shared commitments in marriage. Accept that there's no perfect time. The truth is, there's never a perfect time to get married. Life is always changing, and if you wait for everything to be perfect, you might miss out on the most precious things. What truly matters is whether you're ready to share the journey ahead with the one you love. Conclusion: turning marriage into a shared journey. The fear of not achieving personal goals is one of the main reasons men hesitate before committing to marriage. However, marriage is not an endpoint but a shared journey where both partners can work together to achieve their dreams and build a future. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, consider whether your current partner is someone willing to share pressures, stand by you through challenges, and support you in achieving your goals. When you find such a person, marriage will no longer be a barrier but rather the greatest motivation to fulfill every dream in life. Number 6. Fear of family responsibilities. The invisible pressure that makes men hesitate before marriage. One of the most common reasons why many men hesitate before deciding to marry is the fear of family responsibilities. When stepping into marriage, they understand that it is not just a milestone marking love but also the beginning of long-term obligations and burdens. The transition from a free man to a husband and father with numerous responsibilities can become a psychological pressure that makes them reluctant to move forward. Why do men fear family responsibilities? Pressure to be the financial provider. In many cultures, men are often expected to be the financial backbone of the family. This means they must ensure a stable income to support their spouse, raise children, and cover additional expenses. For many, the long-term financial burden is a real pressure, especially when they do not feel secure in their career or are facing financial difficulties. Fear of losing personal freedom. Marriage means sharing time, space, and responsibilities with a partner. Many men fear that marriage will take away the freedom they currently enjoy: no more spontaneous hangouts with friends, no longer having full control over personal decisions, or having to limit their hobbies. The thought of a restricted life makes them hesitant about marriage. Responsibility of raising children. Being a father is not just a title, it comes with the responsibility of raising, protecting, and caring for children for many years. This requires significant sacrifices in terms of time, effort, and finances. Many men worry about whether they have the capability and patience to be a good father, especially if they have never experienced similar responsibilities before. Pressure from social and family expectations. After marriage, men often face expectations from both families and society. They are expected to become mature, responsible individuals who take care of their wife and children while being a strong emotional pillar. These high expectations can easily make them feel overwhelmed and anxious about whether they can meet them. Signs of fear of family responsibilities. This anxiety is often not expressed directly but can be observed through the following behaviors: delaying proposals or wedding plans. They do not actively discuss the future or find ways to postpone marriage because they do not feel ready to face the responsibilities. Avoiding conversations about children. When the topic of having kids or parenting plans is brought up, they tend to evade or show disinterest. Seeking perfection before committing. They may want to achieve career stability or financial security before stepping into marriage to reduce the burden of responsibilities. Feeling stressed and anxious when pressured. When family or their partner brings up marriage, they easily feel pressured, leading to emotional distance or conflicts in the relationship. How to overcome the fear of family responsibilities? This fear is not a sign of irresponsibility but rather a reflection of real and legitimate concerns. However, if left unaddressed, it can become a major obstacle to long-term happiness. Here are some ways men can overcome the fear of family responsibilities. Open communication with your partner. Honest communication is the key to resolving all concerns. Instead of keeping worries to yourself, share with your partner about the pressures you feel. Understanding each other will help both of you find solutions and reduce psychological burdens together. Change the perspective on responsibilities. See family responsibilities not as a burden but as an opportunity to grow and build happiness. When both partners share responsibilities, challenges will feel much lighter. Plan and divide responsibilities gradually. No one can handle everything at once. Create a clear plan for different stages of marriage, from finances and career to parenting. Breaking down responsibilities into smaller parts makes them easier to manage and reduces the feeling of being overwhelmed. Build confidence through small actions. Instead of waiting until you feel perfect, start with small steps like managing personal finances, learning conflict resolution skills, or spending quality time with your loved one. These concrete actions will gradually help you feel more confident in your role as a husband and father. Seek support from those with experience. Talk to married men to gain a better understanding of real-life responsibilities. Learning from those who have been through it will provide a balanced perspective and help you realize that you are not alone in this journey. Conclusion: embracing responsibility with love. Fear of family responsibilities is a common and understandable feeling for many men standing at the threshold of marriage. However, responsibility is not a burden if there is mutual support and companionship from a loving partner. Marriage is not just a commitment, it is a journey of growth, happiness, and lasting meaning. When you are ready to embrace responsibility with love and commitment, every pressure will become a driving force to strengthen your relationship over time. Number 7. The influence of failed marriages around them. The fear that makes men hesitate before marriage. Marriage is one of the most important decisions in a person's life. However, for many men, witnessing failed marriages, whether from their parents, friends, or relatives, can become a psychological barrier that makes them hesitant to step into family life. Seeing conflicts, divorces, or unhappiness in marriage leads them to ask themselves, will I end up making the same mistakes? This fear not only affects their decision to marry but also directly shapes how they perceive love and long-term relationships. So why do failed marriages have such a strong impact on men's psychology? Why are men affected by failed marriages? Fear of repeating the mistakes of others. When witnessing their parents' divorce or broken relationships around them, many men carry the fear that they will fall into the same situation. They worry about irreconcilable conflicts, fading emotions, and, ultimately, separation. This fear causes them to lose faith in marriage and hesitate to make a long-term commitment. Losing faith in lasting love. The presence of failed marriages around them makes many men believe that love alone is not enough to sustain happiness. They fear that no matter how beautiful a relationship may seem now, time and life's pressures will wear everything down. This skepticism makes them more cautious and unwilling to enter into marriage easily. The burden of responsibility and expectations. Growing up in a family with divorced parents or prolonged conflicts often makes men feel a heavy burden of responsibility when thinking about starting their own family. They worry that they won't be able to be a good husband or father, or that they may not have the ability to maintain a happy home. Fear of losing freedom when a relationship falls apart. Divorces often come with disputes over assets, child custody battles, and long-term emotional trauma. Men who have witnessed these situations may see marriage as a trap, a commitment that is difficult to escape from if things go wrong. Signs of fear of marriage due to negative influences. This anxiety is not always openly expressed, but you can recognize it through the following signs: delaying or avoiding marriage discussions. They may love deeply but feel uneasy when thinking about starting a family, always finding reasons to postpone wedding plans. Lack of belief in long-term commitment. They may see relationships as temporary and avoid placing high expectations on the future, fearing that everything will end as they have seen before. Being overly cautious when choosing a life partner. The fear of a failed marriage makes them set extremely high standards, worrying about compatibility and fearing they might choose the wrong person. Defensive mentality in love. They tend to be reserved, struggle to open up, and maintain emotional distance as a way to protect themselves from getting hurt. How to overcome the fear of marriage due to failed relationships? Although negative experiences can leave a deep psychological imprint, that does not mean every relationship will end the same way. To overcome this fear, men need to learn how to face their emotions and rebuild trust in lasting love. Recognize that every relationship is unique. No two marriages are the same. The failures of others do not predict your future. Focus on what you and your partner are building together rather than allowing someone else's past to shape your mindset. Share your feelings with your partner. Honest communication is the key to overcoming any barrier. Talk to your partner about the worries and fears you carry. When both of you understand each other's fears, building a strong relationship will become much easier. Learn from others' mistakes. Instead of fearing failed marriages, see them as valuable lessons. Understanding the reasons behind conflicts and divorces can help you avoid making the same mistakes and improve your ability to maintain a healthy relationship. Focus on personal growth. A lasting relationship is built by mature and responsible individuals. Invest in yourself, emotionally, in communication skills, and in problem-solving abilities, to better prepare for married life. Believe in your ability to build happiness. No one can guarantee that marriage will always be perfect, but you have control over how you build and sustain your relationship. Trusting in yourself and your partner will be the foundation that helps you overcome any challenges. Conclusion: embracing love with confidence. Failed marriages around you may leave deep psychological scars, making you hesitant about marriage. However, other people's past does not determine your future. By facing your fears, sharing your emotions, and building a relationship based on understanding and respect, you can create a happy and lasting marriage. The most important thing is to have faith in love and in your ability to overcome challenges together. Number 8. Fear of losing control over life. A hidden concern that makes men hesitate before marriage. One of the most common yet rarely expressed fears that men face when deciding to get married is the fear of losing control over their lives. For many, marriage is not just a bond of love but also a major turning point that changes their routine, habits, and personal autonomy. When thinking about sharing life with another person, many men worry that they will gradually lose control over their own decisions, ranging from finances and time management to major life choices. So why do men have this fear, and how can they overcome it to be ready for marriage? Why do men fear losing control over their lives in marriage? Fear of losing personal freedom. When single, men can do whatever they want without much consideration. They can decide how to spend their time, pursue hobbies, or hang out with friends anytime. However, marriage means sharing time and space with a spouse and family. The thought of giving up their independent lifestyle can make them feel tied down and losing their autonomy. Fear of having their social relationships controlled. Marriage is not just a connection between two people, it also affects the social network around them. Many men fear that after getting married, they will no longer have the freedom to maintain friendships, professional relationships, or social activities. The need to explain or ask for permission before meeting friends can make them feel restricted and less in control of their social life. Pressure to share financial decisions. Finances are one of the most sensitive issues in marriage. When single, men can decide how to spend their money without answering to anyone. But in marriage, major financial decisions require mutual agreement. This can make them worry that they will lose control over their personal finances and no longer have the freedom to use money as they wish. Fear of losing their individual identity. A deep emotional bond in a relationship sometimes leads individuals to integrate too much into shared life, forgetting their own values and dreams. Many men fear that marriage will require them to sacrifice their personal ambitions to focus on family, leading to a loss of personal identity and the feeling that they are no longer themselves. Signs of the fear of losing control over life. This fear may not always be obvious, but it can be recognized through the following behaviors: delaying the decision to marry. They may avoid serious conversations about the future or find reasons to extend the relationship without wanting to make a formal commitment. Setting clear personal boundaries. They emphasize the need to maintain personal space and do not want to fully share all aspects of their lives with their partner. Reacting negatively to feeling controlled. Any action that makes them feel like they are losing autonomy, such as being asked too much about their schedule, friends, or finances, can cause discomfort or conflict. Seeking perfection before marriage. They may wait until they feel they have full control over their lives, such as achieving career stability and financial security, before considering marriage, to minimize the sense of being restricted. How to overcome the fear of losing control over life. Although this fear is understandable and common, if left unresolved, it can become a major barrier to a relationship moving forward. Here are ways to help men overcome the fear of losing control when thinking about marriage. Shift your perspective on sharing. Marriage does not mean giving up autonomy but rather sharing life in a balanced way. A healthy relationship allows both individuals to grow without losing their personal identity. See sharing not as control, but as companionship to move forward together. Establish healthy boundaries. Discussing and agreeing on personal boundaries is crucial. Talk with your partner about what you need to maintain independence, such as personal time, hobbies, or social relationships. A strong marriage is one where both partners understand and respect each other's space. See responsibility as partnership, not control. Instead of feeling controlled, view marriage as a collaboration where both partners work together to solve problems. Sharing responsibilities does not take away control but rather reduces burdens and builds trust. Focus on the positive aspects of marriage. Instead of worrying about what you might lose, think about what you will gain from marriage: companionship, love, support, and a home. When you recognize the value that marriage brings, you will gradually feel ready to embrace the change. Maintain personal autonomy in the relationship. Discuss how decisions will be made together rather than allowing one person to dominate. When both partners contribute to major decisions, you will feel that you still have a voice and control in your life. The fear of losing control over life is a common mindset that makes many men hesitant about marriage. However, marriage is not about sacrificing freedom, it is an opportunity to share and journey through life with someone you love. By facing this fear, building a relationship based on understanding and respect, you will realize that marriage does not take away control, but rather provides a solid partner in life's journey. Conclusion. Deciding to get married has never been easy, especially for men, who often carry invisible pressures related to responsibility, freedom, and stability. The 8 common thoughts that make men hesitate before marriage reflect very real concerns, from fear of losing personal freedom, financial pressure, and uncertainty in love to the anxiety caused by witnessing failed marriages around them. Each of these fears is a sign of caution, an instinct to protect oneself from major life changes. However, fear is only part of the growth process. Facing and understanding these concerns will help men gain deeper insight into themselves and their relationships. Marriage is not about sacrificing or losing something, it is an opportunity to share, support, and grow together. When 2 people build a relationship based on understanding, respect, and a willingness to overcome challenges together, the initial fears will gradually fade, making way for trust and lasting happiness. Ultimately, everyone has the right to choose their own timing and path. There is no fixed formula for a perfect marriage, but a strong relationship is always built on genuine love, mutual sharing, and long-term commitment. If you love and are ready, marriage is no longer a fear but will become the most beautiful journey of your life. Thank you for watching today's video. I'm so happy to share these lessons about love and relationships with you. I hope you learned something new and can apply it to your life. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future videos. Thank you for always supporting and being part of this journey. Wishing you a wonderful day. Remember to love yourself always.